Hello and welcome to my space here. I'm Ashley and today this is going to be my relationship toolbox for you. Seeing that our times right now are a little in between, that's kind of what it feels like for me. Like I'm going in between, like feeling the heavy energies of like fear and anxiety and like sadness and grief and loss, but then I'm also feeling the higher vibrational energies of joy and happiness and peace and love and so it's like an in-between of going back and forth because we're human, so we're going to feel the lower vibrations and we're going to feel the higher vibrations. So what I have for you today is what I'm calling my chakra cleanse. So before we go ahead and get started or too into it, we're going to do some dancing today. So I've created a playlist on both my YouTube channel and my Spotify account. So I'll leave both those listed below if you want to check those out. I created 7 songs because I'm calling this the chakra cleanse, the rainbow chakra cleanse, because as you know, our chakras are associated with the rainbow, the colors of the rainbow, and what fitting for the week of St. Patrick's Day, because I'm going to introduce you. First, my word for this week for our little study, for our little lesson, is going to be engagement. So when we think of relationships, you know, you think about being engaged, right? And I feel like there's a lot of people looking for soulmates or looking for love, or not even just like engagement, like proposal in that aspect. It's like engagement, like connection, engaging with one another. Where I see what this quarantine or what like being like in a home or in close quarters or like staying home with each other, you can notice in your relationship that if you don't really like to be in your own home, if you can't interact or you don't feel at home, you know, like you don't feel at peace, if you only enjoy being with your partner when you're out and about and you're busy and you're doing things, it's really a way to avoid the things you need to deal with in your relationship. So this can kind of be hard times for people that are in like relationships that aren't really working. It's kind of forcing them to kind of like deal with, you know, whatever they need to deal with, or like move past it or get a little bit more intimate or like connect more deeply. You know, we're learning to connect more deeply, and it's funny because we're being asked to isolate. But in order to connect more deeply and connect more profoundly to one another, we need to connect and relate more deeply to our own soul. So this gives us a chance to really connect more with our internal self, to see like what's going on with me. How do I need to take care of myself? And that's what this relationship toolbox is all about. How can I care for myself so that I can be the best version of myself in my relationships? This isn't just for romantic relationships, this is for business relationships, this is also for children, this is also for our relationships with our friends. So, that being said, we're going to focus on engagement. Because like I was saying, you notice that like, if you're like connecting with people, or you have trouble connecting with people, like let's say you're in a relationship, but you spend most of your time on your phone when you're together. Like you're not interacting, you're not engaging with each other. You're like having fears of intimacy, which is okay. Be gentle with yourself. I want you to know that during this time, I want you to be the most compassionate and kind to yourself. So we're going to have some fun today. We're going to shake it up. We're going to move it. And I'm going to get a little bit weird because I'm just a little bit odd. And I first want to introduce you to, okay, so when I was younger, because another thing, like I was saying, we're dealing with isolation. So one thing that can come up with isolation is loneliness. Loneliness is one of the most familiar emotions for me. I am not going to lie. I felt so lonely in my home growing up as a child. Our home was empty. So you might see that, and you might see that in homes, or if you don't want to be in your home because your home feels really empty. It doesn't feel full of love. It doesn't feel full of connection. And I felt like in my home growing up, it was a total state of disconnect. So I really learned at a very young age to disconnect from myself, disconnect from my guides, disconnect from my higher self, disconnect from my angels, disconnect from my soul. And this caused a lot of isolation. I felt really lonely. I felt really sad. I felt like I was really weird and didn't belong. And I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. I didn't feel like I fit in at school. I didn't feel like I fit in at home. And so I know there's a lot of people that struggle with this, and I just want you to know that you are not alone. So loneliness is a very familiar emotion for me. So one way that I deal with my loneliness, because if anybody knows me, I'm like the queen of being alone. Like, I prefer actually now being alone because I enjoy communing with my own soul. I enjoy going inward and listening to the wisdom of my soul. I can do this through writing, I can do this through poetry, I do it through dance, I do it through music, I do it through like exercise and activity. So we're going to get a good little workout in, and I want you to remember that you can modify this so you can make it a little bit easier for yourself. And yeah, because some of them are kind of intense. I like to do a little bit intense because I like to get my heart rate up, and I just like to get the energy moving. So like I said, with being lonely, I want to introduce you now to my archangels. Okay, so I work really closely with the archangels because I work really closely with my own chakra system. I believe the chakra system is so important because it's where we store our energy. So they're kind of like, you can kind of think of it like as a computer program. So each of them holds a different significance. And so we're going to start, I'm going to give you just a little tidbit here, because I want you to like really engage with these parts of yourself. So during this practice, because it's really important when we're taking action and we're moving ourselves, we're moving our body. That's more of our yang energy, which would be like our masculine energy. But what's really important is we're not just like going through the motions. You know, we don't want to just go through the motions. We want to really be engaged. We really want to approach it with intention, and that's our more feminine energy. So what are you coming here with? What do you want to set your intention with? What do you want to let go of? Are you releasing anything? Do you need to release any stress? Do you need to release any tension? Do you need to let go of your worries? Like, are there certain parts of your body that are, you know, painful or are uncomfortable right now? I'm really setting the intention to approach this from a place of like, I'm doing this because I can move my body. I'm doing this because I want to feel good. I'm doing this because I want to better myself. I'm doing this because I want to feel better. And overall, if you approach it with that and not like, oh, I really need to move my body, you know, like don't approach it from like a pessimistic attitude. Approach it more from like, I'm going to play and have fun. I really work closely not only with the archangels, which I'm going to continue to introduce you to, but also really closely with the fairies. And they're high vibrational beings. They really connect with earth energy. And I think more now than ever, it's important to connect with earth, because when we begin to connect with her, again, we've kind of lost our connection to Mother Earth because we're obsessed with the material world. We're obsessed with like technology and being on our phones or out plowing through hours making money, you know, like we've really forgot to come back down to earth. We've really forgotten to slow down. And I think that's really important right now, more than ever, to slow down and to really get back in tune with ourselves, get more connected to ourselves, because when we connect to Mother Earth, we get to make decisions that actually benefit her, because we're making decisions that benefit our own health and our own well-being. And then we come out of our own selfish minds and we're like, oh, I see I can do this for the earth, or I can see that by doing this, I'm helping the earth. Like, being more aware of the things that, and then we can engage more with the earth, right? We can like connect more deeply with her. She's full of so much wisdom. We've been taught to ignore this. Kind of, you can look at the earth as like the feminine energy, and the feminine energy has kind of been abused. It's kind of been, you know, like women and children, you know, they didn't have rights. Children still don't really have a lot of rights, and this is just kind of a huge thing on a bigger scale. But it's like, we need to really learn how to take care of ourselves. And when we learn how to take care of ourselves, we begin to take care of the earth. And we see that we are all one, and we begin to relate in a new way, from like a more unified way. So my first archangel that I work with, and he is my absolute favorite. Now I'll tell you a little funny story about him. Archangel Michael. I've been working with him since I was a little kid. I didn't really know it. I was about 4 years old when he came into my life, because that's when my life started to become a little bit more unstable and a little bit more chaotic. There was a lot more, just a lot more going on in my life, and so he came to me around that age, and I totally disconnected from him for a really long time until I had a spiritual awakening about, I don't know, it's probably been about 3 years now, maybe over that. That it really truly began, and I began to awaken to my spiritual gifts, and I really began to develop this relationship with my guides and with my angels. And I've been working really closely with him because, like I was saying, I felt really isolated, like I didn't belong. And he makes you feel like you belong, because we all have a purpose here. We all have a purpose on this earth, and sometimes, hello, we want to leave. Like, I'm always like, I want to go home, take me back to the stars, you know? And, you know, Archangel Michael, he always comes to me and makes me feel like, no, you're right where you're meant to be. Do never question that. You know, you are right where you're meant to be. One thing I want to tell you about Archangel Michael's energy, if you feel called to work with the angels, is that his energy is very like, okay, he's very assertive is a great word for him, but he stands very like, okay, let's just stand like this. Let's go ahead and stand up. Come and join me if you haven't already, because we're going to stand today and we're just going to be in our bodies. We're going to engage with our bodies. We're going to start right now actually by kind of like lifting our pelvic floor and standing up really straight and engaging our core, because, you know, it's so important to engage your core. It's like the center of our being, right? And it really helps us to feel strong. It really helps us to feel confident. And it really helps our posture. You know, too many of us are like this, and we're so used to like texting on our phones or typing on a computer. Really learn, and what you want to do with your shoulders is you want to imagine like your shoulder blades coming in and back, so they're kind of like trying to touch each other. And this will kind of hurt maybe at first if you're not used to, like, this is going to strengthen your upper back muscles, but it's really important for our posture and our chakra system to be straight and aligned, because that's where our chakras are. So this chakra I'm speaking with that's associated with Archangel Michael is the root chakra, and it's located at the base of our spine. It has to do with like home, finances, health, security, stability, all things like that, belonging, family. And so security. And you can see like kind of right now our foundation is a little bit crumbling. So you can go ahead and move your hips a little bit. Our foundation is crumbling a little bit. And this can make us feel like unstable. And he comes to us to remind us, okay, my favorite thing about him is that he's very assertive. So you think he's going to be like super like hard and like cold, but he's the opposite. He's playful. He's humorous. He has a hilarious sense of humor. I was going to tell you this story. Before I start recording my videos, I test my microphone and I say, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Can you hear me? I repeat, this is a test. Can you hear me? Every time I say it like that. And sometimes when I'm getting too distracted or I'm feeling a lot of anxiety, I have clairaudience, so I'm able to hear my guidance from my angels. And for some reason, Archangel Michael, his guidance is impeccable. Like, I can hear his energy speaking to me like clear as day. And he like, one day I was caught up in my anxiety, and he says, "This is Archangel Michael. Can you hear me? I repeat, can you hear me?" And I just started to laugh out loud, because I went right back to when I start my videos. And he's always with me when I'm like recording my videos, because believe it or not, this evokes a lot of fear in me. Using my voice, speaking in front of a camera, scares the living daylights out of me, okay? So I work with him closely to give me confidence. He is great for confidence. He's great for faith. He's great for trust. He helps you learn how to trust again. He helps you come back to your innocence. And it's in our innocence that we learn how to trust, right? So I just thought that was funny that he did that, because I saw him like kind of like my angels will send me, because I'm also clairvoyant. So I think it's important to really develop these aspects of yourself, and it's done over time. You have to think of like your spiritual gifts as like a muscle, and you have to strengthen them just as much as you strengthen your physical muscles. So I could see him like it was like almost like he was using a walkie-talkie that he was speaking into. He's like, and he said that, and I could just hear his voice clear as day. It's so funny, and he just cracks me up. He makes me like feel goofy. He makes me feel like free and laughy and giggly, and so that's why I really like him, or why I giggle a lot, I guess, because I just feel his energy with me, and he reminds me to lighten up and to have fun. And I think that's what we're supposed to be doing right now, because the world is so heavy and it's so dark, and if we don't see the light, if we don't pick out the light, if we don't find the beauty, if we don't search for the beauty, it will be ripped right out of us. You know, we will be sucked into the darkness. And I think that's what the angels are here to do. So to just help us raise our vibration, because it's time to fly. And yeah, I think it's just time for us to move. And you can think about Americans, and for me, when I first began this dancing and yoga and doing all this movement stuff, guys, I was like over 200 pounds when this began. And so yes, my body hurt. There were things that I couldn't do, but I had to move beyond the resistance. I had to move beyond the pain. Yoga really helped me do that with my breath. Also exercise. So we're really going to learn how to engage our chakras today. Woo! I love the chakras. They're my favorite. Just because they're like that part of us that's like, you can't see them, but they impact your life so deeply. So when we begin to clear these chakras, they're like, they store information. So like I was saying, like the root chakra is associated with home, finances. You know, so our ego is formed from ages 0 to 6. So anything we learned about finances from our parents, anything we learned about relating from our parents, anything we learned about body image, self-image, behaviors, everything from ages 0 to 6, we're just observing, we're storing information, and we store all this in our root chakra. So this is our survival chakra. And when it's distorted or when it's clogged up, you can feel a lot of anxiety. So people that struggle with mental health, I'm a mental health person. Let's stop shaming mental health. Please, America. Please, let's stop shaming mental health. I just can't deal with it. Like, there are so many people that are struggling with mental health and they feel so isolated in it. It's like, you are not alone. I have mental health. There's nothing wrong with you. Most of our country is suffering from mental health because we're living from the outside in rather from the inside out. And once we begin to live from the inside out, we find this peace within ourselves. We have this sanctuary within ourselves. We clear out all this garbage that we've taken on from the outside world that we've just been absorbing, downloading since we came here as children. And we begin to clear this out. We clear open the space. We clear open all the way from the bottom all the way up to the top. And we just begin to clear out these chakras. One by one, we move it out, we push it out, and then we can stand more fully within our own being. We can stand, our soul can take residence over our body. And no longer are we operating from our minds, we're operating from our hearts. Of course, our minds are so valuable, but it's our hearts that connect us. You know, it's our hearts that make us all one. Our minds, we perceive everything differently, right? We all have different perceptions. That's the best part about relating, is that we get to learn from other people's perceptions. But what happens is we become really rigid, and we don't allow ourselves to grow from other people's perceptions. So this can happen in relationships. You know, the relationships can tend to get really stuck because we're not really willing to grow. We're not willing to see things from a different perspective. We're not willing to shift our ideas, you know, and so we can become very rigid and locked in things. So when our root chakra is really blocked, we can become rigid. And we just feel like this energy of stuckness. So we're going to move the energy up, and I'm going to get a little freaky because the root chakra is really, you know, it's like our butt. So I love to shake my butt. I love to shake my butt to get the root chakra, the energy up and flowing. And like I said, you're going to just have some fun. I created this playlist for you to dance along with me because they're just some songs that I thought, you know, I could groove to and that kind of help those chakras. But by all means, create your own playlist. You don't even have to, all I want you to do is to begin to set some time aside for yourself, whether it's before bed, whether it's in the morning, whatever it is. Turn on your music. Just turn it on, hit shuffle on your playlist. I don't care what music it is, and just allow your body to move. Whatever it wants to do, just let it move. You know, your body is so full of wisdom. Your body knows how to heal itself if you can actually create the time and space for it to do it. You know, so we have to allow our bodies to move for us, to move through us. And sometimes you're going to move like a weirdo. I do the weirdest shit, guys. When I am like home alone, like I do the weirdest stuff. So if I can do this on YouTube and I can show you the things I do in the privacy of my own home, you can certainly do them in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to share this with anyone. I'm sharing it with you because I feel called to it. It feels part of my purpose. It feels like I need to help people right now. Because that's what I was meant to do. And sometimes it brings up the most fear in me to just share these simple things that I do at home for myself. Because I have this fear of judgment. I'm like, people aren't going to like me. People are going to think I'm weird. You know, I'm never going to find any friends. No, everybody's going to judge me, you know. And I'm just like, I've had to get to the point where it's just like, this is just who I am. You know, and like, if people don't like it, that's okay. Like, I'll find my people. But this is like a deep childhood wound. Like I was saying, I felt like very isolated, or I felt like I didn't belong, or I felt like I was really weird because of my gifts, and because of my, you know, ability to be clairvoyant or be clairaudient or be claircognizant. I'm able to receive messages from words and thoughts. That's why I love writing and I love poetry, is because my angels and my guides, they send me information through words, through my mind. So there's lots of different like senses that you can have and develop. So before I ramble too long, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and try to start here because it's gonna be like 30 minutes, but I haven't finished introducing my angels. I'm sorry. So next would be the sacral chakra, and I love the sacral chakra. This is related with intimacy, relationships, sexuality, creativity, abundance, gratitude. It's located about right here. Think of like it's associated with your sexual organs. I don't care if you're male or female, both associated with the sexual organs. Yeah, when this energy gets blocked, we can experience things like judgment, we can experience things like envy, we can experience things like lack, we can experience things like addictions, sexual abuse, things like those. You know, you think of like, and I mean sexual abuse, like abusing your sexual organs, like sleeping around with people, or you know, it's kind of like that culture too, where it's like, let's hook up. You know, that's really gross. It's really distorted. You're exchanging energies with people. You have to remember that if anybody's had sex with somebody, however many people they've had sex with, they've exchanged, and then so if you have sex with one person and they've had sex with like 7 people, you're exchanging energies with those other 7 people too. So it's like important to keep this chakra really clean, really clean. Don't just be giving your bits away to anybody that you meet on the street, you know, like that's just kind of like our culture. Like, hook up with people you barely know on apps. I'm totally highly recommending that you do not do that, because this energy right here in the sacral chakra is your most powerful energy. It is what gives us vitality. It's what gives us life. If you think about it, literally life. Life is created right here. So this is Archangel Ariel. Okay, so you don't have to associate the archangels with any gender. Gender does not apply to them, honestly, because they're very balanced in both their masculine and feminine energies. But this is Archangel Ariel. Think of like, you know, like Ariel the mermaid, you know. And if you think about that, because this actual chakra is associated with water, so that's perfect if you think of Ariel the mermaid. Because I think of orange too, and she had like orange hair. I mean, it was more like red, but if she was like a human, her hair would probably be more like orange. Just throwing that out there. If you're like a 90s kid, or even, you know, you don't have to be exactly 90s, but like you grew up in the 90s and you watch Disney movies, think of Ariel here. And you want to swim, you know, and she's deep. The sacral chakra is deep. It's our depth. It's our, like I said, it's intimacy. And a lot of us fear intimacy and going deep into ourselves and getting to know ourselves really intimately, because it makes us feel very vulnerable. So when, yeah, like I said, when this is blocked, we can experience things like addiction, because we're searching for that happiness, we're searching for that vitality, we're searching for that, like, because this energy is the energy of abundance, so it makes us feel like an unlimited supply. Like, we never feel like we're lacking, we never feel like anything is missing, we always feel like we have everything we need. And that is true. It's only a perception, but when this thing is blocked, we can get a little aggressive, we can feel like emotions like anger and frustration and lackluster and boredom. So that's why when we're feeling those energies of like boredom, that's when you tend to like eat, right? Like, do any of you like get bored and want to eat? Totally. Hey, what's up? That's me. I don't necessarily do it a lot anymore, but I remember I used to all the time, especially as a kid. Or like you go and you smoke a cigarette because you're bored. Like, those are like, when you heal this chakra, you tend to heal your addictions. So yeah, that's perfect. So think of Archangel Ariel there. Next, we're moving into the solar plexus chakra. Woo! I love this one. This is our power center, located right in the center of our being. This is associated with Archangel Chamuel, and I love him. His energy is great. It's like, think of like connecting to the sun, the energy of the sun. His energy gives us confidence. It makes us feel prosperous. It makes us feel valuable. He makes us feel strong. Woo! I love him because my energy feels so strong when I'm connecting to him, or I'm really connecting to my core. I love doing core workouts just because it's that part of us that really feels strong. And one thing that's happening in the world is like we have a lot of fear. And what fear does, fear is really insidious. So if you don't protect your energy, fear will suck off your power center. This can happen in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. It's just a very like insidious process. So it's just like it will suck off your power center and it'll make you feel really like it'll make you feel powerless. So if you struggle with any things of like feeling powerless, feeling like you're unworthy, or you struggle with like confidence, and like self-esteem. Self-esteem would be more like the sacral chakra, but confidence is more like, but self-esteem also, or self-image too, that's like the power center. So yeah, you can think of the color yellow. Like I said, connecting to the energy of the sun is great. Today it's like super gloomy out and it's not really that sunny at all. But this is like where we are, we can be the light, right? We can really connect to this part of us that's like our center. And when we strengthen this part of us, we just feel very strong. We're able to overcome challenges with a lot more ease. We're able, because like challenges and like hard times are not going to stop happening. Difficulty is never going to stop coming into our lives. But when we're really rooted in our power center, we can take on those things with a lot more ease and a lot more confidence, and we can move through challenges with a lot more strength, you know. And that's, in my opinion, that's what life is about, is really learning how to develop our inner strength, to not allow things to defeat us, to not allow things that are happening externally to take away our value or to take away our power, because we are powerful. Woo! And I think it's so important for people to remember their power, because we have so much strength and we have so much, our power doesn't come from force, you know. Our power comes from presence. So when we allow those things that are happening externally to not affect us and we don't react from them so strongly, then we are standing in our power. So we can do a little power pose here, that's like superhero pose. Like I said, drawing your shoulders back, engaging the core, perfect for the solar plexus chakra. So yes, Archangel Samuel, he's great for romance as well, because he helps you feel very confident. He helps you feel very valuable and valued. And so when we feel very valuable and we feel very valued, then we make our partner feel that way as well. When we feel really confident, it's going to reflect in our relationship. So if we're like really insecure, we're probably going to attract somebody else that's very insecure, because it's going to be a reflection to teach us how to stand in our power. So how to find our confidence and our strength. So yeah, I love that. That's the solar plexus chakra. Next, we're moving up into the heart chakra. Woo! Hello, I love Archangel Raphael. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see him so clearly. Big green aura when I see him. I just heard this, but like a leprechaun, if you think of like St. Patrick's. Okay, he's nothing like a leprechaun. He's so amazing. He's a heart healer. He's the divine healer. I work closely with him to be able to heal my body, to heal my mind, to heal my heart, which I think I already said. So my body, mind, and heart is what he's really helped me to heal. He's really helped me to heal emotionally. He's helped me to stop emotional eating, even though sometimes I still do. He's really helped me with like my eating disorder, like binge eating. He's really just helped me with my body, and like he's helped me with like going vegetarian and incorporating more greens into my life. He's really helped me to connect with nature, and to really just connect to my heart center again, and to open my heart. Guys, my heart was so closed off, and it was so jagged, and it was so guarded. You know, my heart, I had so many walls, and he's helped me to really lay down my shield and to really be open and compassionate and loving. He's really helped me to be more compassionate and more comforting towards myself. He's really taught me how to comfort myself, how to console myself, how to be gentle with myself. I was the hardest person on myself. I'm highly critical. I grew up in an environment where like my parents were very highly critical of me, and so I became very hard on myself. And you can tend to see this in people, like when they're really hard on themselves, they'll be really hard on other people. And I was really hard. I was really harsh. I was really like cold. I was really distant and withdrawn, and he's really helped me to stand more in my heart space, to be an open vessel, to allow love in. I didn't want to let love in because I had been hurt by love so many times. So he's really helped me to heal my nervous system, because when I get more in tune to my heart space, then it allows my shoulders to relax. So you can try that now, just noticing if you're holding any tension in your shoulders, and really just letting yourself go. And what's really helped me actually is tuning in. This takes practice. This has taken lots of practice, but tuning into my heart space. So really turning my hearing. Okay, so you know how we're so stimulated by outside sound, by like traffic or TV or the news or music or being around large crowds. This hurt my ears. I remember as a little child, I would get overstimulated in my ears. My clairaudience is probably my most powerful spiritual gift that I have. And I have to be able to, it helps me tune into my inner world. So I've been able to practice turning my hearing inward and really listening for the sound of my heart beating in my chest. And you can hear it pumping in your ears if you really listen to it. And if you think about it, our heart is our direct link to God, to the divine, to the universe, whatever you want to call it. And also it's our connection to humanity, to the people we're relating with. So when we can drop into our heart space and we can listen from our heart space, we're not listening from our minds and we're trying to come up with something we need to say back, but we're just dropping into our heart space and we're just listening. And we're present with our own breath, we're present with our own heartbeat, and then from that space we can allow things to grow rather than kind of stay stuck. Or you know how when you're not in your heart space, you can kind of get defensive whenever you feel like you might feel like somebody's always trying to attack you if your heart is closed off. And so it's really important to come back to this part of yourself because one, it helps you heal. And you don't even have to heal your physical body. Honestly, what you have to begin to do is heal like your insides. And when you heal your insides, your physical body just kind of, it does the work on its own. Like I said, your body heals itself if you can create the time and space for it to. And it doesn't have to be rigorous work. That's why we're going to play and have some fun. I know I'm kind of getting long-winded here, but I got a lot of information to come through today, I guess. And if you're watching this, I really appreciate you listening, like we're talking about listening. And yeah, that's why I love Archangel Raphael. Just imagine the color green. And it's like, I always see like a vibrant, like, think of like electric neon green. That's what I see when I see Archangel Raphael. I also see a little bit of like golden light in there too. So anyway, his energy is beautiful. He's an amazing healer. And yeah, he's... oh, I just love him. He's like, him and Archangel Michael are probably like my two, I call them like my brothers, but sometimes when I'm really struggling or I'm feeling like a lot of anxiety or I want to close my heart off or I'm feeling a lot of fear, I imagine Archangel Michael behind me holding me, and I imagine Archangel Raphael in front of me holding me. And so it's like I'm sandwiched between the two. And they help me feel really safe and loved and comforted. And like I said, he's really helped me connect to nature. So getting outside, he's really helped me to connect to the wisdom of nature. And I've always loved nature. I've always run around barefoot outside at my house when I was a kid. I grew up going camping and being outside. I love fire, connecting to the wood, connecting to water. I was always playing outside in the hose. So those are some of my favorite things to connect back to that aspect of me again, that innocence, but also that connection to nature. And it's like that engagement with those elements of the earth that really make me feel like engaged. So like I was saying, like when I was talking about like physical engagement, like being proposed to, like if you want to think of your body as like your lover, that's what I've been doing for the last like 2 years. Like my body is my lover, and it's that engagement with your body. So think of like, if you want to be engaged someday, that's great, that's awesome. But until then, engage with your body, and as you do that, it will begin to reflect outwardly, and you won't have to like push or force your love life to happen or to find anyone. It'll just come naturally because you're engaged with your body. So that's Archangel Raphael. He's great. He really helped me in the area of love, and not just love like romantic love, but I mean divine, devoted love, love to a higher power. So I don't think we can have conjugal love, because a lot of people think love is pain. A lot of people think love is feeling trapped. A lot of people think love is violence. A lot of people think love is like loneliness. A lot of people think love, because this is what we grew up associating love with. So if we felt like trapped, or if we felt like lonely, or if we were abused, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally, we'll begin to think that is love. And so we might attract a partner that's physically, verbally, emotionally, or psychologically abusive towards us because we have this idea that that's what love is. But I am here to tell you that that is not what love is, because I was abused all 4 of those things. Those were all things I've experienced. And I can tell you that that is not love. That's like if you attract something like that, you can call them like your wound mate. They're somebody that came to teach you how to love yourself. And so Archangel Raphael helped me to focus on self-love and on self-care big time. And so next we're going to move on to the one I've struggled with the most, but it's probably the most powerful for me, is Archangel Gabriel, associated with the throat chakra. So the throat chakra is, located right here in your throat. And it's associated with the color blue. A very pretty blue. Think of like blue like the ocean, blue like the sky. Woo! Yes, I'm getting chills right now. I can feel him with me. Because I struggle with this one, and I actually feel a lot of people struggling to communicate. And what's one of the biggest things in relationships? Communication. We have to be able to communicate. And one thing I was not able to do is communicate my feelings. I think so many of us struggle to communicate our feelings, and especially more than women, men. Men really struggle to communicate what they're feeling because they've been told, for a very long time that their emotions aren't valuable, that they're meant to be strong and tough, and so maybe at a really young age, their voices or expressing how they felt was just kind of denied or rejected. And this can make it really hard for them to communicate, or for her. Let's not put gender in it. This is both, but I see this more in men. I feel like men are really wanting to communicate how they feel, but they are struggling big time, and it's causing them a lot of anxiety. It's like I feel like a frog in the throat. Rabbit. Oh my gosh, I don't know why that just came to me, but totally. But Archangel Gabriel has really helped me. Okay, I've been persecuted in a lot of past lifetimes where, and even you think about a lot of women right now, a lot of women are being called to use their voice and they feel so scared. They probably don't know why they feel so scared, but it's probably because a lot of them were killed in past lifetimes for speaking up. A lot of women, we didn't have the right, even now, I'm getting that cloggy, I'm having trouble speaking. That's the throat chakra. We didn't have the right to vote, we didn't have the right to speak up. Sometimes maybe if you spoke up, you got slapped across the mouth, expressing your feelings. Our voice and our opinions have been suppressed for years, for centuries. And our ancestors, my ancestors are behind me, and they're like, speak the fuck up! Your time is now! We couldn't do it, so you do it for us. And I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to say this shit. I don't want to be the one. And they're like, you have to be the one. I'm like, okay, I can do it for you. But sometimes I'm not going to lie, I don't want to. It's hard for me. I've been using my voice now for a few years, on social media. And I've grown from it a ton. And I've grown internally. And it brings up fear every single time to share more of who I am, to share my poetry, to share my blog posts, to share, my opinions, to share my beliefs, to share my wisdom and the things that I've learned from, getting more in tune to my own chakra, my own soul. And so it can be really hard to use our voice, especially in relationships. So if this is something you struggle with, once again, you're not alone. Neither was I. And I spent so many times not speaking up for what I believe in. I let myself be treated like a flippin' doormat because I didn't have the courage and I didn't have the will to use my voice and to set a boundary and say, you're not going to talk to me like this, you're not going to disrespect me like this, and walk away. We can be kind of aggressive with our voice. It's important to use your voice because your voice, this is the area of creation. So this is all about creation. This is where we speak things into existence. So your words matter. If you're constantly talking about how broke you are, if you're constantly talking and complaining about your partner, you're creating that, guys. We're creating that. Nobody's taught us this. And I'm here to tell you now, your words matter. Your words matter so much. They are creation. So the more you talk about world problems, the more you talk about the coronavirus, the more you talk about things, you're just spreading it and spreading it and spreading it. You're creating. So let's try to be more silent. This is a day and age where we're so filled with information and stimulation all the time, and people are always throwing these opinions at you, and they're always throwing everything at you. It's great. I love being able to use your voice because I'm one of those people that's constantly putting my information out there, my opinion out there. But you have to use discernment, and don't just get aware of what you're saying. Are you just complaining all the time? Notice if you're complaining all the time, if you're constantly talking about your ailments. This is one thing I cannot stand, is being around people that only talk about their health problems. If you continue to talk about your health problems and you do nothing to change them, you're going to create more health problems. If you constantly talk about your money problems, but you're not doing anything, to help yourself, you're just creating more money problems. If you're just constantly creating and talking about the bad things in your relationships, you're creating more of that. So please, become more aware of your voice. It is precious, it's valuable. And if you don't have anything nice to say, please be quiet. I know we learned this in kindergarten, but I think a lot of us have forgotten. And I am wearing my Taylor Swift shirt today. And if you think about her, she's helped me to use my voice. So a lot of you might be called to use your voice. in different ways, maybe through speaking. I know public speaking is part of mine, or just writing, or it could be through music. So whatever it is for you, it could be about teaching. Whatever it is for you, you can use your voice, and it's safe for you to use your voice, I promise. But it's going to bring up a lot of fear. You're going to have to work through a lot of fear. When I first began to like writing posts and sharing my opinion, I would have fears of like being assassinated or being killed for using my voice. And you can see why, you know, if you think about like our history and stuff. So anyway, yes, that's Archangel Gabriel. Your voice is so important. So what you speak, you create. So please be more conscious of what you're saying. Next we're going to move, this is getting long, but next we're going to move into the third eye chakra. Woo! This is Archangel Metatron. You can kind of think of this energy. This is like indigo. I see it kind of like an icy color though too, like an indigo. I don't know, it's a very beautiful color. This is where our third eye is located, so you can imagine this right between the brow. And this is also the seat of Christ. So a lot of people don't really see it that way, but this is where we connect to Christ, is our third eye. And so you can go ahead and close your eyes if you want to, and just like put your focus on your third eye. And you can kind of breathe into it. But this is just associated with like our inner vision. So like our clairvoyance. And I'm sorry, but I believe everyone is clairvoyant. Some may be more powerful than others, but I believe all of us have an inner vision, and it's that part of us that connects to, you know, our soul. And it's like how we receive ideas. It's how we receive inspiration. And one way this chakra can get clogged is by watching too much TV, by being on your phone too much, by interacting and socializing too much. You overstimulate this. So this chakra really requires us to be silent. I'm also going to incorporate the ear chakras, because we have ear chakras as well. Like I said, I'm very clairaudient, so you might have clairaudience as well. But another great way to help this chakra is to be in silence. This is where we receive a lot of our information. So let's say you have a problem that you're really concerned about. Maybe you're concerned about health problems, or maybe you're concerned about finances. So what we're not really taught, we're taught to worry about these things. And the more we worry, the more we create. The more we create, more to worry about. So what really helps us is to be able to get in tune to these chakras, is to be in the silence and to be in the quiet and to kind of isolate ourselves, kind of like we're being taught to do right now. And this really helps us to get answers, to get clarity. Think of clarity when you think of the third eye chakra. So you're seeking answers, and God, the divine, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is always sending you answers, always, because we always have the answers within. We tend to search outside. Don't even come to me for answers. First and foremost, I want you to go to yourself, always. Number one is you. Go within. Sit in silence, be quiet. Sit with yourself. We kind of have to sit ourselves down like a 2-year-old, and you have to say, you're in time out. But we need this time out. We're in time out right now. I don't mean to say it like as we're being punished right now, because we're not being punished at all. This is a great gift. But we're being gifted the time and space to really hear our inner wisdom, because we are wise. We think that everybody else has the answers, and that's kind of our society has taught us that thing. It's like to look outside, consume, buy. But really what you need to do is go within yourself, and you have all the answers you need. And that's where we really tune into our third eye chakras and our ear chakras. By being quiet, meditating is great for these 2 chakras. Being out in nature is great for them. They'll open them up. Also, salt baths are great for the ear chakras and the third eye chakra, with your intention. So if you go into a salt bath, make sure you put your head underwater and ask that your ear chakras and your third eye chakra be cleared. And this can really help you kind of open up. So you might struggle, like if your third eye is blocked, you might experience like headaches, like tension headache, especially headaches right in the middle of the forehead. This is really a block in your third eye chakra. So you might be having a lot of anxiety and needing answers, and you're fretting, and you're actually blocking your guidance. You're blocking the wisdom. You're blocking the answers that you're actually seeking. Even if you don't think you're seeking any answers, your energy is always sending out a signal, and that signal is always being received by the universe, and the universe is always sending something back to help you, to guide you. So this is like our inner guide, our inner teacher, if you will. Next would be our crown chakra. And did I say this is associated with Archangel Metatron? You can call upon him anytime you need to help you clear out that chakra as well. Get lots of rest, he's saying. That's what people need right now, is rest and quiet. Listen to gentle, soothing music, please. Shut off the TVs. Be in quiet. Try not to stimulate yourself. Maybe read some books. But even that, even if you're feeling like a headache from reading too much information, just be with yourself. So next we're going to move on to the crown chakra, which I love. This is associated with the color violet, which I've been really attracted to recently, the color purple. This is associated with Archangel Uriel. I kind of see Archangel Uriel as a feminine energy, but it's both, right? It's both male and female, so we can't really get into gender specifics there since they're angels. But the crown chakra is associated with divine guidance. It is our spiritual connection to the divine, and I love the crown chakra, but I hate when my crown chakra is blocked or clogged, because it feels really uncomfortable. I feel like a pressure on top of my head. We receive our it's like how we stay connected to our spiritual self. It's a very spiritual chakra. You know, it's one of our higher chakras. We have a few more chakras that are a little bit higher up, which I'm not going to get into because I'm going to stick to the 7 chakras, which are the rainbow. And yeah, so her energy is great for just being able to connect with your higher wisdom. I'm hearing the Akashic records. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. It's just like this infinite library of information that we always have access to. When we can get really quiet, we can get really still. So you can kind of think of like the crown chakra, like the high priestess. If you follow me on Instagram or you know anything about tarot, it's kind of like that inner wisdom within us. So it's like that streams down, and then it opens up our third eye and our third eye and our ear chakras, and we're able to receive that information. So it's like a library. If you think of our crown chakra, think of a library. That's really what it is. And so it's just full of so much information. And when we can really connect to that part of us, when I connect to that part of me, I'm not gonna lie, I feel really weird. I feel like I just feel like I know too much almost. Or it's like you can see beyond the illusion of the physical world, and you really begin to see the unity. You really begin to see beyond the superficial. You begin to see beyond the surface level, and you begin to have a different perspective on life. It really shifts your perspective, and you believe that you're never lacking. You believe that you're never alone. That's what the crown chakra has really helped me with, is I'm never alone. And when I'm connected to this, I'm connected to my galactic guides, to another dimension. I'm connected to my spirit guides that are full of freaking wisdom. I'm connected to my ascended masters like Jesus and Buddha and Kuan Yin and Mother Mary and Yogananda, and I'm connected to goddesses like Isis and Kali, and you know, I'm just connected. You're connected. That's, if you think of our crown chakra, think of the word connection. So that's the word there, connection for sure. So I just love calling. One of my favorite ways to heal this chakra is to put my head on the ground and to just be there for like 5-10 minutes and allow my head to connect to the earth. Yeah, or just getting outside, connecting to the sun, connecting to the fresh air is great for the crown chakra, connecting to earth, because it really just opens us up. And okay, so now that I've rambled, we're going to go ahead and move into, I'm going to put these headphones on because you're not going to be able to hear the music. I'm just going to kind of like walk you through the little motions. I'm going to walk you through the dance moves that kind of help me to move the energies in these chakras. I'm going to take this off because it's really important to get that energy moving. That's kind of like my tarot feature that I did for this week was Wheel of Fortune. So to me, that's all about movement, moving forward, like not staying stuck. And so we want to move the energy in our chakras. We want to really get that energy moving. So I'm going to do just like a few minutes because I don't want to do the whole song, but I'll kind of show you what I mean. So we're going to start with the root chakra, and the song I picked for the root chakra is The Bones by Maren Morris. So like I said, I'll leave this the playlist information below because I did one on YouTube and one on Spotify. But I need to be able to listen to the music to be able to get into it. So with the root chakra, I like to incorporate like I said, shaking my butt or just touching my body in general, because it's important to feel safe in your body. That's what the root chakra helps us with. All right, here we go. And just get into it. Let your body move. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Let yourself be a little weird. Like I said, if I can do this on YouTube, you can do it at home. Like really exaggerate your butt too. You want to stay engaged in the core and the legs. pelvis thrust. And you can just shake your butt however you feel comfortable. There's lots of different ways to shake your butt. You can bend over, a little slight bend in your knees. And you can put your hands on your knees and just kind of like try to shake your butt as best as you can. I know it looks so weird, but. And this is also great for your relationships because you can really dance with your partner. And it might make you feel a little vulnerable, but I think that's the whole point, right? And just laugh at yourself, let yourself have some fun. That's why I love Archangel Michael, because he makes you laugh at yourself. Or you can shake it like this. Even if your butt shakes and your ass is clapping, let it. This one is great for the root chakra to bust up the energy that's stored at the base of your spine. So get really wild. It'll start to feel really good. And it's actually a really good workout for your legs. You want to make sure your feet are anchored to the ground. I like to put my arms up, but it doesn't matter. This helps me give a little shake. And I like to smack my little just let yourself get weird. Okay, I'm gonna end it there. That one's one of my favorite songs. Okay, so next we're gonna move on to the sacral chakra. For this one I've chosen Starfire by Caitlin Smith. This one's fun. This one's like kind of sensual, which is why I chose it for the sacral chakra. So I'm gonna touch my body a lot on this one and move my hips a lot. It's like good to sway. Once again, we want to anchor our feet. So kind of bring your awareness to your feet. Don't try not to clench your toes into the earth, but just try to feel really stable. And kind of, like I said, exaggerate your hips all the way forward too. I like to get my hands involved, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I like to sway them from side to side here. And you want to engage in your core, in your pelvic floor. So try to lift your pelvic floor. Kind of think of like Kegels, because this is associated with our sexual energy. So this really helps us to really strengthen our sexual organs, especially as women. And this really just makes us feel like we have lots of vitality. It makes us feel really connected to our sexual energy. And when we feel connected to our sexual energy, we're able to give that sexual energy, especially in our relationships. And not only is it great for sexual energy, it's also great for creation. So if you're wanting to if you're an artist, it's good to move your hips here a lot. You might want to touch your belly. And you just want to set the intention that you're loving on yourself. I like to touch my butt a lot, kind of grope yourself. That's what the sensual practice is all about. I love to grab my breasts, give them a little squeeze, while still being engaged in the hips. And then our thighs too. Kind of let your neck relax. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed here too. So you want to bring in awareness to the body. That's all we're doing. And your moves Might not look like anything like mine. Doesn't matter. All that matters is that you move your body in a way that feels good for you. Okay, I'm gonna play my air guitar here because she has a guitar solo. And I feel like this is perfect for right here. Let yourself have some fun and get crazy. This is good too for the legs. This is going to create a lot of strength in your legs, and let yourself do it over time. If you're feeling out of breath, that's great. You can bring your awareness back to your breath anytime you need. And you want to like kind of put your hands, because your hands are probably really healing. If you set that intention and put them on your sacral chakra, just to help you move that energy. This one should make you just feel really like lit and turned on and like just feeling good in your body, full of energy. So like whenever you're feeling bored, get up and move your hips or dance. It's great. Instead of like going to that addiction or going to that food. Okay, next we're gonna move on to the solar plexus chakra, and this one is great. I chose Stronger by Britney Spears, just because, duh. So this one's great. Like I said, this is like our power center. It's our inner strength. We're kind of going to do some squats here. So like I said, you can modify this for yourself if you're just, if this is just something new you're starting. I like to do squats with the music. So I kind of just like to listen to it and let it flow, but what you can do is just kind of like pull squats, or you can do regular squat. So make sure you're standing up straight and you're engaged in the core still. Your back is nice and straight, and you can just, go down as far as you can, and then back up and make sure you're squeezing, keeping your core engaged, keeping your glutes engaged when you come back up. So down, or if you want to do a little bit more intense, you can do like a pulse here. That's kind of like what I do when I dance. And I love this because she's like, my loneliness ain't killing me no more. I'm stronger. I like to draw energy from my power center with like imaginary color. This is great for the legs, of course. And it's great for the breath. And the butt. I like to bring the energy like, yes, yes, come to me. And you can repeat like mantras here, like I am strong, I am powerful, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am prosperous. I like to bring energy up from the earth when I'm going down and squatting. And with when I move my hands like that, I'm moving energy. I consider myself an alchemist, so really using earth energy, and I'm pulling it up into my core so that I feel really strong. Think about a tree trunk. Your feet are planted, your roots are really strong, and you're building your tree. You're going up into the trunk. And this earth energy really begins to expand our solar plexus chakra. Begin to feel empowered and strong and confident. Okay. Next, we're moving on to the heart chakra. I'm already a little out of breath, so if you are, don't worry. Okay, so for this one, I picked Wide Open Spaces by the Dixie Chicks. Love it. And what we're going to do here, one of my favorite practices ever, so we're going to kind of slow down. Kind of did a little bit of like cardio, got our heart rate up there. Whew. Now we're moving into the heart. We can either stay planted or move, but we got our wings, okay? We all have wings. Male or female. I actually met a man a few years ago. That's a literal angel. That is a man. I like to call my angel. Like man angel. But men are angels too. I think we kind of forget that. Anyway, I just wanted to add that in there. But we're gonna move our wings. So we're gonna kind of engage the core. We're engaging the arms. They're not just flopping. We're like creating strength in our arms. And you want your hands out wide. Like this, like a bat. Kind of think of like bat wings. I like to think of like fairy wings. And we're opening the heart space. Think of like opening the chest, a heart opener. I like to kind of create my own little space, my own little sacred space, with my intention, setting the intention that I'm clearing the space, that I'm using my wings to really like clear away the energy. I'm creating this little shield. You can imagine the color of the rainbow shielding you. I love doing this to like really pretty songs. I just thought this one was good because it's like wide open spaces. We want to create a lot of space here so we can be filled. And then bring your chest in, and you kind of like draw your like navel to your spine when you come in. Chest out, arms back as far as you can, and kind of like you're gonna give yourself a big hug too. Or like when then you rest your arms out, and you're like, oh, you haven't seen somebody in a really long time, and you want to run to them and give them a hug. Then give it like that, giving myself a hug, reaching out to give a hug, giving myself a hug, reaching out to give a hug. So we're holding ourselves, we're opening up space. We're holding ourselves, we're opening up space. This is a great exercise for your arms, that's fun. And one of my favorite things is like, just imagine your wings. You can use your imagination here, especially if you're an artist. So imagine big old wings. They can be anything you want, any color you want. You get to decide what your wings look like, but we all have them. And you're just setting the intention that you're clearing the space. You're opening up space in your own heart. You're feeling free, you're feeling liberated. She knows that. And of course you can sing along. Put a little smile on your face. And your arms might be getting tired, but that's kind of the whole point, right? You're strengthening those wings. It's time to strengthen your wings, beauties. It's time to fly. Whew. They can look like this too. Whatever you want. It's like the Bob Ross of your own life, right? Pretty little trees over here. Some pretty little wings here. Okay, now we're moving on to the throat chakra. And this one's really important. I chose this one. It's called Everything's Gonna Be Alright. It's by David Lee Murphy and Kenny Chesney, because I think it's important that we say that right now. Everything's gonna be alright. And this one's we're gonna just dance. I like to get a little bouncy. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Nobody's gotta worry about nothing. Don't go hitting that penny. It ain't worth feeling your hurt. Everything's gonna be alright. Set that intention. Everything's gonna be alright. And push that energy out. Everything's gonna be alright. Until you believe it. Everything's gonna be alright. Even if you're suffering. Even if you feel like nothing's gonna be alright. Just say it. Everything's gonna be alright. And the more we like get our bodies into the same energy as our words and as our thoughts, it amplifies our creation. So we really want to get the body involved. We want to engage the body. It's not just about the mindset. Excuse me, I need a drink. It's not just about the mindset. It's not just about the feelings. It's about getting the body in that state of alignment. Everything's gonna be alright. And just set that intention. Like, send love to the people you know. Like, you don't have to like physically always be doing something. Just your intention is powerful. Like, I'm wishing this person well, and just, you know, using your voice to see the good, to voice the good, to voice the things you like in people, to voice the things you see that you admire in people, to voice your feelings of love or admiration. It can really affect people's lives and really help them, you know. And I think that's really important. There is no. Okay, so we're gonna move to the third eye chakra. And did you think that we would go this whole thing without a Taylor Swift song? I don't think so. So this is Daylight by Taylor Swift, her new album, Lover. So this one I'm gonna use my hands, and I just like to be really like still. And I like this one because it's talks about daylight. And I kind of see that when I think of the third eye chakra. Like, things are clear, you know, like things are daylight, things are bright and sunny, you have clarity. This is kind of like a sweet, slow song. And like when I do this with my hands, for me it's like I'm bringing in energy and I'm pushing out energy as well. And I just like to paint. I'm like painting my own energy body. And this creates like a shield so that negativity can't really get in or bring us down or alter our perceptions of ourselves. Makes us, you know, we're not as easily manipulated. Because we have daylight, we have clarity. It's brighter now. And we're just like opening up, thinking about opening up. Taking off the blinders here. I like to get really, like, especially Taylor Swift, I like to get dramatic, because her music is, she has a lot of drama behind it. Not in a bad way, she's just theatrical. You can imagine like painting a beautiful sky. Imagine a sunset or a sunrise or beautiful stars sparkling in the sky. I know it sounds really weird, but put a smile on your face. Yes, I love that one. That's a beautiful one. Okay, last one, guys. Thank you for sticking out this long with me if you have. All right, this one's like going to be like more like a prayer. Like I said, it's like the crown chakra is like our devotion to God, our spiritual aspect of ourselves. So this one is called Higher Love, and it's by Kygo and Whitney Houston. So this one's a really beautiful one. It's kind of like upbeat, but what I like to do is just put my hand on my heart, or and put one hand up in the sky. Think of like worship, you know. But I like to use more music for worship. You can use like Christian music too, is great. But any music, you know, I'm not really into like strict religious things, you know, so prayer to me is like music and movement. That's prayer to me. So just putting your hand on your heart, or you can put both hands up, and just really let the music move through your body. Remember, it's not about being perfect or being like a dancer. You're just moving that energy. You're moving your body. And just really pray here. Whatever you need praying for, whatever is bothering you, whatever is like worrying you, use this time to like get into the music, lose yourself in the music. You can kind of incorporate everything we've done, you know, shaking the hips, engaging in the core still, and the legs, and in the back shoulders. Bring higher love. And you can set the intention to bring higher love to the planet, bring higher love to our homes, bring higher love to our schools, bring higher love to everything. We need higher love here. Then if you don't want the hand up anymore, you can just put it on your chest. Whatever works for you. I like to close my eyes here. Just like praying for ourselves, praying for humanity, praying for our planet. It's not done with force, it's just done with presence. Can we be present with our bodies, because we are the earth. Can we take care of our bodies, because, you know, our bodies are the earth. Okay, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you if you watched this whole way through. I hope this was helpful, and I hope it was healing for you. I hope you can come back to it any time and just really use this time to take care of yourself. And I'm sending you so much love, and I'll be back next time. I'm sending you so much healing energy.